I wrote it down. You said that no one should be judged by the worst thing they have done in their lives.
Correct.
If one of these young doctors sitting behind you, God forbid, walks out on the streets of Washington, D.C., and is raped or sodomized, you don't think the rapist should be judged?
I don't think it should be terminal. It shouldn't be for the rest of their lives.
You think we should forgive them and not give them any punishment?
I believe in
You
forgiveness.
think nobody's responsible for their actions?
Welcome back, Patriots, to Right View Nation, where truth isn't filtered through a woke lens, and we say exactly what millions of Americans are thinking, but the mainstream media is too cowardly to say. Today, we witnessed another epic takedown of leftist nonsense by none other than Senator John Kennedy, a man who doesn't mince words when it comes to defending our rights and calling out the absurdity of progressive ideology. Let me break it down for you, because what we just saw wasn't just a hearing. It was a full-blown demolition of the elitist, out-of-touch public health narrative that's trying to repackage gun control as compassion. So here we go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Rainey, welcome first. You are an ER doc, is that right? Okay.
Correct.
And understand you've been on television a lot?
A fair amount.
Yes, ma'am. And I understand you built a home television studio, is that right?
That's a bit of an exaggeration. I had a laptop on a stool.
Your husband didn't build you a home studio?
He did not build me a home studio, no.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Why do you think that Chicago has become America's largest outdoor shooting range? Do you think it's because of Chicago citizens who have no criminal record, but who have lawfully a gun in their home for protection or perhaps for hunting? Or do you think it's because of a finite group of criminals who have rap sheets as long as King Kong's arm?
So Mississippi, Louisiana, and Missouri actually have higher firearm death rates. Obviously, there's certain...
What about Chicago?
So I don't live in Chicago. It's not my primary area of research.
You don't have an opinion on that?
I think there's easy access to firearms combined with environmental conditions, lack of great education. There have actually been studies showing that when you green vacant lots and repair abandoned buildings in urban neighborhoods, you see decreases in gunshots, in violence, as well as in stress and depression in the neighborhoods around them.
No disrespect, Doc, but that sounds a lot like word salad to me. Let me ask you this. In September of this year, our New Mexico governor issued a public health emergency order, and she suspended the right to bear arms in Albuquerque and the surrounding county. Do you support that?
I do not. What I do support is the work that New Mexico has
but
done
do you support that?
No.
You don't? Okay. Let's see. During his first 2 years as the DA in Philadelphia, District Attorney Krasner lost or dropped 47% of all the illegal firearms cases in the city. Do you agree with that?
I'm not a lawyer. I'm a physician and a public health professional. I can say that New Mexico has done amazing work in trying to address the suicide and partner violence.
I'm asking about Philadelphia.
I don't have an opinion.
The DA dropped 47% of all the illegal firearms cases. Did he do the right thing there?
I don't have an opinion. However, I will say that just as with fentanyl, the spread of illicit substances...
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm
That's
running
okay.
out of time.
Understood.
The LA District Attorney, George Gascon, said that he would not prosecute any sentencing enhancements for guns or gang-related activity. Do you think he did the right thing?
Again, I am neither a lawyer nor a prosecutor.
You don't have an opinion on that?
I honestly don't know enough about it to have an opinion.
You don't think gangs should be prosecuted for having illegal guns?
I'm neither a lawyer nor a prosecutor, and that's not my area of research.
But yet you want to take guns away?
I've never said that I want to take guns
from
away.
law-abiding citizens.
I think that you are saying something that I've not said in my written or oral testimony, sir.
Okay. You equated gun deaths to heart disease in your opening statement.
Yes, sir.
Which is a greater public health problem, gun deaths or heart disease?
So heart disease does kill more folks across the United States, largely in the
About
end of their life.
700,000? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gun deaths about 50,000?
Correct.
Do you support outlawing fried foods?
I'm sorry. How does that relate to?
Because fried foods contribute to heart disease, don't they?
Again, I have not written or said that I support
You're
outlawing.
a physician, right?
I am. Have I said that I support outlawing anything in my testimony today?
Okay. Let me ask one more question. I'm sorry, I cannot see that far, Doctor, on the very end.
Cozy Gay, thank you.
Yes, sir. You said, I wrote it down, you said that no one should be judged by the worst thing they have done in their lives.
Correct.
If one of these young doctors sitting behind you, God forbid, walks out on the streets of Washington, D.C., and is raped or sodomized, you don't think the rapist should be judged?
I don't think it should be terminal. It shouldn't be for the rest of their lives.
You think we should forgive them and not give them any punishment?
I believe in
You
forgiveness.
think nobody's responsible for their actions?
I believe in responsibility. I believe in forgiveness.
Thank you, Mr. Wow. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Kennedy. Senator Butler.
Thank you, Chair Durbin.
Dr. Rainey, an emergency room doctor, strolls into the hearing room not to offer science or objective insight, but to peddle the same recycled talking points about public health emergencies and environmental conditions being responsible for gun crime. You know the drill. Blame society, blame buildings, blame vacant lots. But whatever you do, don't blame criminals. Senator Kennedy, God bless him, opens with a straight question. Why has Chicago become America's largest outdoor shooting range? Simple, direct. And what do we get in return? A dodge so clumsy it could have been choreographed by the Biden administration. The doctor couldn't, or wouldn't, admit what every law-abiding American already knows. It's not hunters. It's not gun owners protecting their families. It's violent criminals with a rap sheet longer than Joe Biden's list of broken promises. Instead of answering the question, she launches into this poetic nonsense about how painting abandoned buildings and cleaning up vacant lots can reduce gun violence. Folks, this is the real problem. These people live in a fantasy world where a fresh coat of paint is supposed to scare off gangbangers. Meanwhile, in the real world, Americans are being robbed, assaulted, and murdered by repeat offenders that progressive DAs keep releasing onto the streets. Kennedy calls it out perfectly, word salad. And he's right. This wasn't testimony. This was a Pinterest board masquerading as public policy. Then comes the kicker. New Mexico's governor declaring a public health emergency and suspending the Second Amendment in parts of the state. A dictator-style gun ban disguised as concern for public safety. And what's this doctor's response? I do not support that. But wait, she goes on to praise New Mexico's overall work. Classic leftist maneuver. They won't outright endorse tyranny, but they'll do everything they can to excuse it. Let's be real. If someone suspends your right to bear arms, they're not protecting you. They're controlling you. Kennedy comes armed with facts, real numbers, like how Philadelphia's far-left district attorney dropped nearly half of all illegal gun possession cases. And what does the doctor say? Oh, I'm not a lawyer. I don't have an opinion on that. Let me get this straight. She wants to testify on gun policy. She wants to push the narrative that firearms are the problem. But she doesn't have an opinion on the people who refuse to prosecute criminals with illegal guns? Either she's being dishonest, or she's unqualified to be offering testimony on this issue. Either way, it's a disgrace. And when Kennedy brings up LA's Soros-backed DA refusing to enhance sentences for gang-related gun crimes, same nonsense response. Not my area. Not your area. Then why are you here, Doc? To tell Americans to give up their rights based on feelings and urban stress levels? Spare us. Now here comes the absurdity that only the left could cook up. The doctor equates gun deaths to heart disease. So Kennedy brilliantly hits back. If we're going to ban guns because of death rates, should we also outlaw fried food? Of course, she recoils. That's not what I said, but it is what she's implying. It's all part of the playbook. Turn every bad thing into a public health crisis so they can bypass your rights. Guns, speech, gas stoves. Everything becomes a health risk under the left because then they can claim emergency powers and sweep the Constitution aside. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, Kennedy reads her quote, "No one should be judged by the worst thing they've done." Now maybe that sounds nice in a motivational poster, but Kennedy exposes how hollow that really is. He asks her a blunt question. If someone is raped or assaulted, should the attacker not be judged for that? Her answer? Forgiveness. Are you kidding me? This is the lunacy that's infecting our justice system. These people want to treat career criminals with more compassion than they show law-abiding citizens defending their homes. They want forgiveness for predators and punishment for patriots. Patriots, this hearing was just a glimpse into the agenda the radical left is pushing. It's not about gun safety. It's not about health. It's about control. They want to take away your rights, your protection, and your ability to defend yourself, while criminals roam free and are met with compassion and forgiveness. Senator Kennedy did what every one of us would do if we had a seat at that table. He called out the hypocrisy, exposed the weakness, and defended the Constitution. We need more like him, and we need you to stand up, speak out, and say no to this madness. If you believe in the Second Amendment, if you're tired of seeing criminals coddled and citizens punished, if you're done with experts who offer word salads instead of solutions, then hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it far and wide. Let them know Right View Nation isn't backing down. This is your country, your freedom, your voice. Use it. Until next time, stay bold, stay free, and never apologize for loving America.